You think it's bad coaching or bad playing with the players' part?
Jerry called him out. And like, it was just a terrible coaching job on our part.
He fumbled, he dropped the pass,
Yeah.
he wasn't doing the fun.
But it's Jerry's team.
There is his.
Jerry.
I'm talking about the Cowboys and Jerry Jones versus his coach. Doesn't matter how, whether the coach is at fault or not, if Jerry wants him to be at fault, then he'll be at fault.
It's his team.
I didn't watch it, but I did hear that they're gonna beat the
3,
4. 9 to 13.
13. Did they ever score a touchdown?
No.
I don't watch the NFL anymore, so.
Oh, watch any of it.
Didn't know.
Thank you.
Oh, in a while.
For
Or volleyball game.
You did.
Go, remember,
Remember playing on that thing?
yeah.
I never did like on
You Graham lose Friday night?
Yep.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it might be. I heard it was a
What was the
touchdown
final?
difference.
Yeah, it was
What's the final score?
40 to 21. But it was really a good game.
That was Joe Fluke's kid over there coaching that team, wasn't
Yeah. The score didn't really represent what happened. I mean, it was.
it? We were playing closer than.
Yeah, we did, yeah. Once we threw an interception on the 10-yard line, and then the next play they ran it in. It was a 7-point game at that time, and our guys were deflated, yeah. So,
Coaching, did you give a coach?
Are they
I heard that
mono?
Talking phrasing and all kinds of.
yeah, it is.
Coach, same crap every year.
They got one out, probably not two.
Same road, last 7 years.
It's just the, I think they're the wrong shape for us, it's a different brand.
Well, I probably only had to take one twice since I have.
Y'all take on Wednesday and Thursday.
We are.
Well, I think this one, because you know.
Well,
Family, you got your family around here, you going somewhere else?
No, they come around us, but on Thanksgiving,
Because I had to do the PRK.
Saturday. Or Thanksgiving Saturday.
Burn off the layer.
A lot of people work after they.
Can you see fine far away?
Yes, I can,
Well,
Like, I can see the numbers.
Nathan, like your haircut.
Yeah.
Thank you.
but, well, it looks nice.
They'll work to the nurses and stuff, so, you know,
You
there's.
got family coming from Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
just clean it
Gotta
up.
clean up. I can see this.
Are you going to your family?
Yeah, it's really well.
No, actually, it's
Yeah,
just my fiance's sister that's coming up.
This,
When is this fiance gonna be fiance to your wife?
Oh.
I mean, I just got engaged like a year and a half, or not a year, a month and a half ago. So,
Y'all haven't got a date yet?
late September of 2020,
September 2020.
8th of September?
27th.
Oh, 27.
Let's put that down, let's
Yeah.
red letter that day.
Well.
We're getting it back.
We don't make, I don't want to invite, I just want to harass it.
The day your life ends.
No, the day his life begins.
Yeah, that's it, that's what I mean.
Well, a different life. Sunday wedding.
Man, what do you think is kissing your ear?
Y'all stop it.
I don't know. He's gonna have those numbers today.
Make sure we get
So then are you just gonna,
Oh,
are you
yeah.
like the live?
What's that?
Oh, that's
County clerk?
Supposed to say go
So
in.
they got the kids.
She wants to just change the bank
They
account
got
like
the
you
water
do
under them.
insurance.
They did what?
Oh, Graham?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not live checking.
it's over.
It's done.
We go to basketball.
Yeah.
Much easier than.
It's all basketball.
Files with all the.
And he dribbled down to the end of the court, he dribbled back.
Basketball.
Okay, I got those two invoices too long.
But not enough volleyball. Volleyball.
Volleyball's even tougher. I mean, it's happened so fast.
Yeah. And you gotta think, okay, 12 is 1:30.
That can't be possibly good, this is no radio. Did they do basketball, volleyball, radio?
Mhm.
I mean, the
Yep.
actual, except for the entrance, can be each one of them, and then you do.
I have batteries if you can see.
Yeah.
Well, you can have this, but I sure need it. Been a lot of overtime. Well, both payers, I mean,
You got some people that have more than.
That sister died.
the jail. So you paid 2 payrolls in October, 2
My dad.
November out of that so far. So, yeah. It kind of sucks. I think they're short. I mean, didn't we put it part-time?
Before you got reporting and showing me who's getting what.
There's one that's part-time.
I mean, I can.
Because they were gonna have transport. Somebody to transport, that would help them a lot, because
Yeah.
Well, because you had that one guy who wasn't qualified. Because people were taking things and then there was some people gone. And then you had.
I'll call the meeting to order. Young County Commissioners Court setting in a regular meeting Monday, November 25th, 2019. It is 9:30 a.m. I make note that all members of the court are present and that this proceeding has been posted in the manner and for the time required. It's convenient. Let's stand and have communication and pledges. Please, Mr. Rogers.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we just ask you to be with us this morning. Guide and direct us. Give us wisdom on the issues facing us in Bear County. Father, we just ask you to be with those who lost loved ones this past week or two. Heal those that are ailing. Father, we just want to give you thanks for putting us in this position where we can make decisions to better our county. And we just want to worship you. Father, this week of Thanksgiving, we just want to give you praise, and we want to be thankful for what we do have and for what we don't have. Father, we just ask you to forgive us where we fail you and work your will in our lives. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Item number 3, public comments, announcements, and presentations. Don't have a thing on that. Is anybody aware of anything other than maybe the Christmas parade?
Christmas stroll parade, the 5th.
And Thanksgiving holidays approaching rapidly. We will be closed for Thursday and Friday. And good possibility part of the day on Wednesday. So probably kind of vacated around here. By then, I mean, item number 4 is consider county clerk minutes from previous meeting, November 12th, 2019. Are there any additions, deletions, corrections, anything like? Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Rogers to approve minutes as presented. All in favor? 5-0. Item number 5 is consider Treasurer financial report. Have it here. Is there anything you want
Nothing, I mean, we've got September, our October and September all closed out. And we spent about $750,000 out of the treasurer's account between those 2 months. So we didn't have to take anything out of our reserve, so that's good. We still have money.
How do we do on our sales taxes so far?
We've been getting a little over 100,000.
Good. Good. That's a good sign.
nothing further?
Nothing further.
You've got all the money in hand,
Got it in hand.
under lock and key.
And we did extend our depository contract for 2 more years.
Okay, very good.
So motor to go to the treasurer's report.
A motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Rogers to approve the financial report as presented by County Clerk and Daly. All in favor? Aye. Carried 5-0. Item number 6, consider auditor's budget amendments and vouchers payments.
Vouchers payable, they're only 2020s. Total is $108,072.99. And out of the general is $74,498.71. And there is Don's butane included in this time.
I would abstain.
So moved.
I'll second that. Put this in.
We have a motion by Commissioner Pruitt, a second by Commissioner Sipes to approve vouchers payable as presented by our county auditor, Sheriff Roberts. All in favor? 4-0-1. One abstention noted. Jimmy Wiley, precinct 4 commissioner, abstaining. Comment.
And I have a couple of invoices that have come to my attention, and Kay can help explain some of them on her remodeling in her office. I think J&J did a little more than what they had anticipated, and they have another invoice for $872.97 for some extra work that they did. And then none of the cabinets or the drawers had any knobs or anything on them. She had those purchased and installed from JC Contractors, and it's $626.26. And she would like those taken out of County Clerk Records Management.
626,
26.
626.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
That's full. Second.
It was. It was a full mountain.
J&J.
The J&J was $872.97. And the other one was JC Subcontractors.
Is that who put the cabinets in?
I stopped by and took a tour of that.
Yeah.
It's really nice in there. Did a good job, Kate.
It's really gonna work well for her, I think.
Gonna service our clientele. Does it come out of the same can?
Yes, both of them out of County Clerk Records Management.
Management clerk.
County Clerk Records Management, yes, sir.
It's an unbiased candidate.
And I got all the colors in there.
Mm-hmm.
And all that.
It is on level, that's good.
I know about that. I do.
I second it.
May first.
Jimmy. Wally. Wally Pruitt. Wally.
Here we have a motion by Commissioner Wiley, a second by Commissioner Pruitt, to approve payments of $872.97 to J&J Electric and $626.26 to JC Subcontractors for work provided in the county clerk's office and taken out of the county clerk's records management. All in favor? Aye. Item number 7, consider employee bonds. Sarah Pardon, district, deputy district clerk, $5,000.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rogers, second by Commissioner Wiley to approve that bond as presented on Sarah Parton, deputy district clerk. All in favor? Carried 5-0. Item number 8, discuss, consider central appraisal district ballot for directors. This is, I think about every year or every other year, thing, and in the past, we used to split our votes on. It takes 1,000 votes to guarantee a member of that board. And it doesn't look like there's 5 on the ballot. The only change would be Dan David Cruz from,
I mean, Ben Wilson is coming up.
Ben Wilson's spot. So,
I say we can represent.
do we represent the seat?
I say we put all ours on mine.
Jack Bailey, I believe, is mom.
Yes, Jake is Federal School Board.
Harvey Brockway,
Dan,
C.T. Burdick. You'd think C.C. would be representing the city too, but he could be representing.
School.
Dan put the school board now.
He's out of county.
Dan's on the, on
The ISD.
CISD.
Or, you know, there's some.
Dan's on the school board.
Outside.
And Dan on the school board?
Yeah, he's on the school board. He's also the city
Sure. Turn.
council. Is there any discussion, or we want to make all of our votes one way, or if, I think the only 2 people that could be guaranteed would be those representing Young County and one representing GISD. It used to have, I think they have 2.
Jimmy, you made a motion?
I make a motion to all over mine.
They'll have the most votes in GISD and second.
I'll second that.
I make a motion all over
All
mine.
votes. Have a motion by Commissioner Wiley and a second by Commissioner Pruitt that all Young County's available votes be in favor of Mike Sykes as a board member to the Young Central Appraisal District. All in favor? Carried 5-0.
May I make a comment about, many of you may have gotten your tax statements that said Young County.
But I haven't looked.
They have Luke.
I know what you're talking about.
I discussed it with Luke, and that was a problem at the printer's office. The printer just hadn't gotten an email, or just out of habit, printed them as Young County. He said he would take care of that problem. So, in case you have a question about that, you know. I thought maybe it's just the envelopes, but no, it's the tax statement.
Statement also.
Did get the email, did get the message, did get the memo. Sure, it was unzipping those envelopes. I said, that's not right.
I know there's more this year than was last year.
Yes. You've acquired some property. You've acquired some property. You could have more envelopes.
I need to have a lot more. Yeah.
And I'll make a copy of you.
Now, see,
So the name has not been changed back. It's still Young Central Appraisal. Absolutely.
All right, item number 9 is an ordinary annual thing that we do about this time every year, to discuss and consider requesting sealed bids for road materials and asphalt products, culverts, tires, tubes, and fuel.
And the statute would require that we do that, right?
They did it.
Okay, then I move that we request sealed bids for road materials, asphalt products, culverts, tires, tubes, and fuel.
I'm sure Context gets one.
Do what?
Context always gets one. Please.
Snyder,
Is that where they are? I'm seeing
Single.
Do you wanna open them, December 9th or?
Yeah, let's open those on,
At 10 a.m. Because most of the bids I get won't be from the paper, it'll be from the letters we send.
yeah, let's open those on December the 23rd.
On the 23rd, okay.
That'll be Friday before 4 o'clock. 13th,
Okay.
Friday the 13th. No, that's my side. 23rd, Friday the 20th, Friday the 20th.
Receiving till Friday 20th at 4 o'clock?
Right, and open them on the 23rd.
Okay. At 10 a.m.
And look back and see just how we worded all that.
I've got it ready. All I need to do is fill in the notes, the dates. We'll run it and send the letters out.
See, that's on the Friday, 12/20, 4 p.m. And open Monday, 12/23, 10 p.m., 10 a.m. All in favor? That'll be 4-0-1. One extension over Commissioner Wiley. Same committee deliberation vote on that issue. Item number 10 is discuss, consider road crossing permits in precinct number 2 on Medley Chapel Road and on Gateway Lane. Have you communicated with that, Kenny?
Actually,
Yeah, that,
they've already done it. I
come
assume,
back and let us know.
now, I assume they bored it. I don't see them cut, so,
Oh, you make where you
you know.
You do more.
No. Let me see here.
Yeah.
Bored. So move on it.
Give me some information.
No, you didn't say.
I'll second.
Yeah, I had somebody contact me, they said, y'all put the internet in out here? I'm like, I'm not. They said, I thought the county did that. And I'm like, no. Not us. No, we're internet providers, so there you go.
Motion by Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Wiley to approve both road crossing permits to the Bradis Telephone, one Medley Chapel Road, one Gateway Lane, they'll be door owns. All in favor? Carried. And I guess I need to include in that feet waiving, feet waiving, fees. I'm not gonna put that. Item number 11, discuss and consider second amendment sanctuary resolution for Young County. This item is put on agenda of Commissioner Sykes. And I reached out a little bit, I was a little concerned about a little bit of the wording in that, so I reached out to Jim Allison, and he provided a little alteration. I think all of you have the suggested changes that he made and information that I sent out to you. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, sir. I'll have something to say about that in a second. This came to me on November 14th, a private message from one of my constituents, or our constituents, with the newspaper article in regards to Throckmorton and Stevens County passing this. That was the first time that I had actually seen anything of this. Upon reflecting on the 24-hour period, I decided that this is definitely something we needed to turn over to this court to look at for the citizens of Young County. It's quite a declaration. The resolutions I submitted were the ones from Throckmorton and from Stevens County, and I sent them to the judge, and I knew that he would make some changes to them, and besides just Young County, and he has, and for the most part, they're good. But I won't say this about that. I've been getting a lot of feedback from this community in this county. It's all been positive feedback. The rhetoric being used in the current political atmosphere by some individuals has really prompted people to pay attention to their civil liberties and their civil rights. This is not so much about making Young County a Second Amendment sanctuary city as it is to remind those that are in power anywhere and elsewhere other than this county that people are very much concerned with the power that the government wields in arbitrarily taking possession of their private property without asking, just through legislation and force. Let me say this before we get too deep into it. This does not bind or obligate the sheriff of Young County to do anything. This says that we will support his decision should a circumstance such as this come up. Okay? We're not usurping the power of the sheriff's office at all, but saying that we do support him if he should. In actuality, this is a feel-good kind of a resolution. But it's a feel-good resolution. It's kind of like to come and take it. I mean, it says that we will not stand for an infringement of our Second Amendment rights, nor our First Amendment, nor our Fourth Amendment, nor the 10th Amendment. Our rights and privileges in this country are safeguarded by the Constitution, and we want to make sure that people in this community understand that this court is in full favor of securing those blessings of liberty that are here. We put the 10 Commandments on the courthouse lawn. We've got "In God We Trust" here. We're not backing down from the community standards and their moral feelings about things like that. The Montgomery County just passed theirs last week. It's a 5-page resolution. Montgomery County, 500,000 people in that county just north of Houston. Okay? Which you would think this probably gets Houston's attention pretty quickly. But there's one passage in this resolution that I would like to read to you that was in it that I think is very applicable. He's quoting John Adams in a dissertation on the canon and feudal law in 1765, prior to the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. And the paragraph says, "It is the natural tendency of civil government to expand beyond the limits of its rightful constitutional authority and to usurp powers which have not been given to it through the delegated consent of the governed." That wraps up what we're doing here, gentlemen, this sanctuary bill. So I would hope that you would all vote in favor of it. And I would like to mention one thing in the corrections that you made about that have been declared by an appropriate court.
Let's rephrase it, that's not necessarily my correction.
That was suggested that you make?
Suggested by
Okay,
Councilor Jim Allison.
very good. And I think that's an appropriate notice. I would suggest that we take out the addition of have been declared by an appropriate court. You guys know how long it takes to get something through the court system to make a final decision on what it says or doesn't say? And our sheriff or chief law enforcement officer certainly might need to act prior to the court's disposing of it. So I don't know what the sheriff's obligation would be. Should they say, go pick up all the AR-15s? I kind of think I know. But while we're arguing whether or not that they could rightfully do that, I think he should still be free to make decisions based on this resolution and the community support that we're giving here now.
I agree.
So,
Well,
What did they put in theirs, in that county?
in their county, they don't do anything such as that.
I didn't think so.
We use a very simple resolution because it's very easy to understand and dictates the principles of the resolution. That was a Freudian slip. So, yeah. So, I think we have chosen the right one to make it as simple as possible and direct as possible. And the only difference I would have in the way that the one that I put forth would be to strike that have been declared by an appropriate court.
well, I'll argue that point just a little bit. It says enforcing the law that have been, the laws that have been declared by an appropriate court to be to unconstitutionally infringe upon the rights. In other words, acts that's already, court decisions that's already been made, that it doesn't state that may be declared in the future if this is a past tense that have been declared.
Well, none has been, so declared inappropriate. I really think that it's questioning this. Let me remind you though, the paragraph that we're talking about in our resolution talks about this body appropriating funds to pick up those weapons that are covered by the Second Amendment. And we would have every right in the world, the sheriff has a right to do it, but we have every right in the world to limit his financial ability to do it by hiring more officers, cataloging those guns, storing those guns, whatever might happen there, because we are the financial arm of this county. So it does, in effect, give us some power in that regard. If that's a point of contention here at this table, I have no problem with it. I just think that it would be clear if we didn't include the court's approval in it. So,
Well,
Well, it looks like people we have that have EPOs and bond conditions, stuff like that, they're not allowed to have a weapon as long as they're on those conditions or on the
I
EPO.
understand. But to remove that weapon from them, then would be constitutionally correct to do so. If we're gonna run into trouble down the line with these things is the red flag laws. You know, and that's gonna be left up to the sheriff's discretion as to how he handles those particular things. And I wouldn't want the job. But I'm glad we
include funerals.
I'm glad we got somebody, yeah. He is an elected official. Once again, I want to reinstate this court cannot tell an elected official how to run his business and what to do, so we can fund his department.
Well, he was asked that question when he ran the first time.
I was.
He said that he will in no form or fashion.
It does, it clearly makes reference here when it says have been, that's court decision that's already been made, those that may be pending or that may come in the future. Obviously, I feel like we can do those kinds of things, but each time that you hear, and Second Amendment, when we hear Second Amendment down here, we understand that, but when you reference sanctuary and city and county, I believe the public mindset goes to places like California and New York. It's absolutely defying federal law. And I don't think that we want to resolve to try to do that, to try to subvert federal law. I don't think that serves any purpose at all. That's just kind of like saying we're going to observe the laws we want to and ignore the laws we don't want to. So, Mr. Allison was, he advised one county that failed to do that, to be careful about how they worded those things. Obviously, a resolution is a non-binding act, but it carries a little more clout, a little more weight than just a declaration that anybody can declare. So, I don't want to get, I wouldn't want to get crooked with federal law. I mean, we're talking, you read the article about the blood in the streets.
I understand, but this resolution does stand in the face of the right and wrong of the federal government. And should we feel like the federal government has unjustly in any way declared an unconstitutional law, I think we have it, our duty as rights as citizens to stand against that edict and our law, legislation, whatever, to say, no, you're wrong. And that's exactly what this resolution is. We're using sanctuary as a safe haven for the Second Amendment. And we're giving the power of decision there to the sheriff, not to the courts. And we may ask, or he may actually say no, and they tell him to pick up guns, now or in the future.
You can do that without this resolution.
This resolution is a statement of position and a statement of the community's desire to have such as this. Doesn't put it all on his back.
I'm all about resolution.
So,
Jim Allison recommended that phrase put in there. I pretty well think it needs to be in there.
well, you know, I respect Jim Allison, but he's an attorney, and you know, the people who would draft such legislation, I guarantee, are attorneys also.
I mean, you got Montgomery County, 500,000 people there. They don't have it in there. I just read a couple things there.
Let me read this little excerpt. This came out of Texas Monthly, November the 6th, the lead edition. It's the article, it was a long article, and of course it's not all in here, but there's several excerpts in there that pertain to this. And at this time, I think there was 7 counties in Texas that had passed resolutions similar to this. This is Jeff Davis County, where commissioners considered a Second Amendment sanctuary resolution in August, killed its own proposal after a lawyer questioned the county's authority to take such action. Jim Allison, General Counsel for the Texas County Judges and Commissioners Association of Texas, told Jeff Davis in a written opinion that Texas counties have no authority to create a sanctuary for or against weapons. The Big Bend Sentinel reported. Allison suggested that counties draft resolutions carefully to avoid implying any legal effect. County Attorney Teresa Todd, meanwhile, recalled a violent standoff in the early 1990s between Texas Rangers and the Republic of Texas, an armed militia group. She worried the resolution would embolden similar sovereign citizens who considered themselves above the law, according to the West Texas newspaper. Nobody believes in gun rights quite as much as Jeff Davis County, the Sentinel quotes her as saying. But none of these other counties have had an anti-government standoff with blood in the streets. When you look at things like that, and Jim Allison is, I think, probably hardly believe the premier authority in state government law, not federal government law, that's in the state of Texas, certainly that I know about anyway. He has been the lead opinion writer in the Attorney General's office, and he has been a county attorney, and now he's a counsel for County Judges Commissioners Association. So his opinion lays quite a bit.
I will, tell you that I know Jim, and Jim's opinion does weigh. I asked Jim for a lot of opinions. But this opinion about Jeff Davis County was this past November, quoted by a magazine that has not heretofore always been a friend of the Second Amendment at all, and they're giving a quote from a county attorney, which once again, sometimes does not necessarily care about armed citizenry at all. And to bring up a 1990s action and blaming the cause of it on what this resolution is trying to do, I guarantee you, without this resolution, without us doing this today, if someone comes to someone's house in Young County to try to take their guns, there will be blood in the streets, I feel. That is a very strong sentiment in this state and in this county, especially out here. So I would say, I appreciate Jim weighing in on this, and I thank you very much for asking for this opinion. But my opinion still stands that we can pass this resolution as presented without the court being involved. Just that one line, have been declared by an appropriate court. And I would like to make the motion that we adopt this resolution, sans that one line.
So you're gonna leave in the added whereas?
But whereas the members of the Young County Commissioners Court took an oath to support and defend the United States Constitution, the Constitution of the State of Texas, and the laws of the State of Texas insofar as they are constitutional. Yes, that is just a factual statement, and that puts us in a position to do what we're doing. I have no problem with that addition. It's a reiteration, actually, of what you would suspect is assumed in the resolution anyway. I had one constituent say, why would you need to ask permission? Why do y'all have to do that? Why don't you just, well, because it's the way the democracy works.
That doesn't say we're asking permission, it says that laws that have already been declared by our appropriate court to unconstitutionally infringe on the right of people to keep and bear arms.
I just believe that decision should be made locally in that situation, should this ever occur. Most likely, this is just a feel-good kind of thing, a statement of position and of community character. And like I say, I make a motion that we accept this resolution without that have been declared by an appropriate court in it.
Further be left in there, because it states about laws that already have been declared under the Constitution, and it doesn't address any laws that are currently pending or that may in the future rise to that level. And if you leave that statement out, you just say no matter what our federal or district or federal or Supreme Court says, whoever the appropriate court is, that you're not going to follow that.
I understand. Should we ever get legislation such as this, I would worry about what condition our court system's in anyway. And when someone who is vying for a position on the ballot to become the president of our country says, hell yes, we're coming after your AR-15s, everybody on that stage moves their head up and down, I think that it doesn't hurt us to make a statement such as this and leave the courts out of it.
Sheriff, got any more comments?
Do I have any comments?
What's there to comment about, right?
I mean, already without it or with it, whichever. I'm gonna do what I got to do.
You know what you're gonna do. Take the stance, yeah, you're not gonna use your department to go get our guns with them.
He wouldn't have no department.
We
They
wouldn't
would
even
be all deceased. Or they'd throw their badges at him, go, you go do it. That's what would happen.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't. But I'll second your
Thank
motion.
you, sir.
Well, I don't think that statement is does or intends to define the Second Amendment, it does, it supports it completely. It's just not, it's not saying that we're going, if you leave that in there, it says that we're going to abide by the laws that have been declared unconstitutional. We don't do any of those that have been declared unconstitutional and infringes on the right of people to bear arms. And we're not going to do anything against that, including all of the laws that the courts have previously declared to be unconstitutional. I would hope, and I can't imagine, a court of appropriate jurisdiction to declare the Second Amendment unconstitutional. So there are laws that have been declared that maybe I don't even know have been declared unconstitutional. We don't need to be ignored. We don't need to be ignored, or saying, making a statement that we're not going to follow certain laws that may be created by the Constitution, or that the Constitution allows our courts the authority to regulate, just like our Texas Constitution. There's a lot of things that our Texas Constitution allows our legislature to do that I don't like. But we live by them, and we don't pick and choose which ones we want to or don't want to. I'm a gun owner and an advocate of the Second Amendment, and just like you say, we probably rise to the level of conflict if our government came to collect our arms. I don't think there would be a vote. I just don't think we need to make the declaration that we're not going to follow a law that may be created and define, like California and New York, what have been doing with regard to sanctuary places. You know, I understand that opinion is opinion, but this is an attorney's advice that in many times, in many ways, represents this court. So, you know, that's the reason I reached out there, because there was certain things, a few little things, items in there that, and I didn't disclose them to him. I said, here's this resolution that Throckmorton County and Stevens County have passed. And I said, there's a couple of places that causes me to raise my eyebrows a little bit in it. I didn't want any of that, so that's why I sent that to Mr. Allison, and he looked at it and he didn't make much change to it, but he just reworded a few things in there to clear that up.
It's fine.
Those are my concerns about that.
I appreciate your concerns. I just would prefer to present it to the court with that. Fails, we put it back in. As Ben Franklin said, when the 13 colonies voted for independence, it's done. We hang, let us all hang together.
Okay, so your motion is to strike the alternate part.
Just that one line has been declared by the appropriate court and passed it without that passing. The other whereas part is, I think, It's real clarifying, so that's good.
I'd like to put in, left in there because it was recommended by our council. I could probably still vote for it, it's kind of a resolution, non-binding.
I understand, I just,
For the sheriff, I'd probably vote for it,
again, I respect Jim Allison, everything, I respect a lot of those guys down in Austin. I've lost a little respect for a few of them in this last section, and all those legislation that affected us in this county government adversely were all attorneys. There's an attorney behind every one of those bills. And I think that I can disagree with Jim Allison and his opinion sometimes. You know, as he can disagree with mine. And it's just one of those times that I'm having to disagree with Mr. Allison and the advice that he came through the judge with. Again, I think we're squabbling over principle here that this country, people ask, how were they able to take the statue of Jackson out of Jackson Square? How were they allowed to change the names of schools and those Confederate heroes in the history of the South that they've done? How have they taken down the monuments and memorials? It's because the people in that community let them do it. This is just saying, don't even think about it. You know? So, you know, gentlemen, vote your conscience on this. And I have no animosity towards anyone and how they vote, so. I'm just proposing this because I believe our community in Young County wants to see it.
David, I'm contacted by several constituents that are deeply concerned about this. And asked them why we haven't had it passed yet. Just give us time, we'll get there.
Anyway, there's a motion on the floor in a second, so.
A second.
I'm gonna have to be on the side to leave that phrase in.
So 211, $2.
Okay. We're all completed then. No question. All in favor of the resolution excluding the words have been declared by an appropriate court to? That's my understanding.
Yes, sir, that is your understanding. That's my understanding.
All in favor of that resolution in that form?
Aye.
Is aye?
Aye.
Aye? Aye? Very well, I think that's probably a little bit of an error, but certainly I love the Second Amendment. Probably clause ought to be left in there, but I'll attach my name to it also.
Thank you, sir.
It's a resolution, non-binding.
So 3-2.
Number 5-0.
We'll fix that for you, Dave.
You know, it's sad that they continue to pick on the guns. And I still read the statement, and when we were down there at, our legislative update, they had a panel up there, and the guy, and one senator brought that up, he said, no, he said, it's not the gun, it doesn't. And I can think of a lot of the things that causes more deaths. We never bring up the fact about these people killing all these infants that's never been born. And there's hundreds of thousands of them every day, every year. And the thing about these things right here, these things right here kill more people than the guns have ever killed. And then you go back to the second part, the third part of that deal is alcohol, same thing, but they don't ever talk about getting rid of alcohol, and they don't talk about getting rid of these. Or anything else, they're stopping abortions. But, they're gonna have to have something to pick on, I guess, the very thing that was able to get us freedom that we have today is what they wanna attack. They don't have anything to do with the person behind that.
Actually, last year's statistics show that knives kill more people than guns do.
There was two of them in this county this week.
And, you know,
They didn't die, but they was stabbed.
we had a young man at UT get killed by a knife.
Sure did.
Right here, right
And
now.
and by the way, that was resolved recently. And that could have been deferred because of the family in that situation.
I think we made the right decision.
Well, in the context of charging, that is people that kill people, don't kill people unless it's just absolute accident.
Boy, the book of Revelations is sure looking like it's here, brother.
I'm
Looks
gonna,
more like nonfiction on
I'm
that.
gonna tell you, we're at this point in life, if we don't start standing up for what we believe in, they're gonna lead you around by the nose.
Yeah. Amen. Yours too?
That's cool for our company.
Yeah, arthritis is killing me right now. My hands hurting.
Well, I got this brand new shoulder, I also got a weather report. The top says, motion made and seconded. I'm just filling my name up here. Yeah.
Oh, that page go right out. Right where he-
That's what you say, you don't have good hands.
That you felt that's what can be read.
Somebody can read it.
This resolution talks about your sound resolution, under your sound decision-making processes.
I have faith in you.
It's in the office of the sheriff's hands.
Great God, you love it.
Yeah, I think this is just an exercise in capabilities. Are you getting nickels worth, Mr. Nichols? I think There you go.
Okay, Ms. Clerk, if you want, right in there, the motion and the second. Okay, item number 12 12, something of great importance to all parties
Yes, it is.
in the courthouse total, and then in the precinct, and all employees of Young County is our holiday schedule for 2020. Actually, that'd be January of the calendar year of 20. I'm blaming this on the image you put together. Are they all the same?
They're just.
Well, let's move for the date accordingly.
The dates and the days of the week have lined up favorably this next year.
Yes.
Right.
Mondays and Fridays.
Monday and Friday.
Thank you.
So, I think the feds are taking off July the 3rd to the 6th.
On what now?
The feds are taking off July the 3rd.
So that's Friday, I guess.
And it'll be ours then first.
Now, so the third total. You got our last schedule, Lance?
I'd be good with that. Is that what you're suggesting, is to do it the 3rd instead of the 6th of July?
It work out better on the other day.
Yeah, it would.
Then I'll make her take copies, or you just want yourself.
Good point.
I agree.
Anybody else want coffee?
Yeah, please.
Okay, I'll go make her.
I'm good.
Well, hey,
I'll put it my phone.
yeah, I think we'll do some major change for it.
Oh, that's last year.
No, last year. Or, well, I say last year, this year, this present calendar year.
I'd be in favor of this schedule, scratching July the 6th to July the 3rd, make it Friday.
Yeah, but you're doing that just on your own behalf.
Well, if the banks are closed on the third, it would be.
Employed by the county also.
See, the banks are closed on the 3rd. It's a federal holiday.
Do it on the 3rd.
Yep, the banks are closed on the third.
Right.
Oh, there's 7 or 8 elected officials here in the courthouse and about 40 or 50 employees. And then the sheriff department, it doesn't really matter, he's gonna operate anyway.
24/7.
The banks are closed on the third.
We'd be removing one holiday from our cruise. I mean, they're off on Friday anyway. Why don't we give them off on Monday also?
You don't float the holiday for your guys.
Huh?
You don't float that day another time. You do. Like Good Friday. You ever come sometime?
If the holiday comes on Friday, they would do. And that's one on your idea, that Stacy, it'll be a better situation.
We're saying that what?
Hey, Stacy made the suggestion, I was just agreeing with Stacy
Mr. Rogers.
to that, Mr. Rogers.
Commissioner.
Change this to the 3rd instead of the 6th, which is Friday instead of Monday.
There's no holiday calendar observes the 3rd. State of Texas.
Monday, okay.
And third.
So you say the banks are gonna be observing Monday? It just says.
No,
Six observed.
No, they're observing the 3rd.
Talk only about federal holidays.
Okay, you're saying,
Text it out.
There, you know.
so July 4th is.
Saturday. Saturday.
Holidays lined up pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't argue that much. That was,
Either way, it's a 3-day week. Thank you, Stacy.
It'd be the same as they did last year, or this year.
Yeah.
We done Thursday this year.
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
July 3rd is Monday. Is that correct?
Right.
Friday, July 3rd, Friday, so this is, okay. Okay, observed on July 3rd.
Mr. Treasurer, you're sure they're closed on
If it's a federal holiday, they're closed.
it shows
the,
Right, then. Yeah, that,
The banks, the post office.
yeah, all of that's closed. Courthouse.
doesn't change the number of days or anything, does it?
No. 13 days.
Any other comments?
Make a motion, we approve of that.
Already made it.
I'll second it.
Made it with the change.
How you gonna change?
From
I'll
the 6th to the
his
3rd.
change.
Yes. Come on, catch up.
Try to do 4 changes one time over here.
Wiley? With replacing, July 3 for July 6. Is that right?
Yes, sir. July the 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right, that's the 6th, on Monday. All in favor of that, as modified? Okay, we have our calendar, our holiday calendar for the calendar year 2020 set. We maintain a 13-day total, altering Monday, July the 6th, and replacing that with Friday, July the 3rd, to observe Independence Day. All in favor? That's carried. 5-0. Okay, any consideration with regard to the burn restrictions?
Wednesday, we got 20%, Thursday, 90%, Friday, 80% of rain, a chance of rain, all the way through Saturday.
We've had 2 fires. We had 2 fires start because the control fires went out of control.
Out of control. Yeah, one last night.
Yeah, one of them last night.
One call out on the east side of Lake Road.
Yeah, there was a very small one though, it was somebody doing control burn, it got put out pretty quickly.
You quit doing that.
I wasn't, this time it wasn't me. We really do need to continue to have people call in before they start fires.
What does our emergency management coordinator say?
Excuse me?
What does our emergency management coordinator
I think
say?
so.
He's been really ill.
Oh, what does he say?
What does he say?
About the burn ban?
I didn't ask him, he hadn't said anything about it. He's been ill.
Coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
What's been wrong with him?
I think it was flu or something like the flu. He kind of came down kind of ill, Monday after they had that, police rodeo out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, up north of Blue End, got cold really bad that day, or at least the morning of that day. On Monday afterwards, he was pretty, till he didn't feel very good. He just got worse and worse. He's been out of pocket for the last week, 10 days. I did communicate with him, communicated with him on Thursday, in College Station, to ask where he'd been. You know, is everything all right? I hadn't seen him very long. He made a statement. It'd been bad. It was a deal for the last several days. Came down, there's no action to be taken on the burn restriction. I guess we're ready to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Okay.
Is it hard?
It looks like.
Oh, I bet maybe the flag.
Yeah.
Sprinkle or,
Like,
I thought it was bugs.
like wings blew in.
Thank you.
No, on the side there, it looks like something, maybe the flag or something hit it when they were putting it.
Looked like wings blew in.
Okay, I'll get you copies of everything.
And every time somebody calls down,
All text.
they have to call us, get in the phone. And this was in the last, I mean, last year, I don't know what's happening.